Good afternoon. I'm extremely grateful to Dr. Malloy for this opportunity. So, respected chairperson, seniors, and friends. So, am I audible, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir. Yes, sir. You're audible. We can
Slides
see
is
your slide
visible.
also. We can see your slide also.
Okay.
You can go
Respected
ahead.
chairperson, seniors, and friends, I'll be discussing very briefly on how I do imaging of the bile duct. We'll be discussing the basic steps only. So, imaging of the bile duct can be done by many techniques. ERCP is still the gold standard. A standard technique which will be followed by everybody, not been specifically described. As the bile duct lies very close to the duodenum, the choice of imaging restricted to duodenum for many operators, including me. Principles of US, as you know, of radial and linear imaging. So imaging of the bile duct can be drawn from various stations. We can image the bile duct from 5 stations. If you see the Auger junction or fundus, proximal stomach, the home base structure is left portal vein. You can see the segment 2 and segment 3 ducts. If you're doing a clockwise rotation, we can see the upper 1/3 of the bile duct. Anti-clockwise rotation, nothing will be seen. Body of the stomach, again, we can see the portal vein, splenic vein, forming the portal vein. Main part of the bile duct seen is the mid 1/3. With clockwise and anti-clockwise rotation, we can able to see the lower and upper third of the bile duct. From the duodenal bulb, the important structure is portal vein. We can always see the middle third of the bile duct CBD. And by clockwise, anti-clockwise rotation, we can see the rest of the CBD proximally and distally. Descending duodenum, we can see SMV and the formation of portal vein. The lower 1/3 of the CBD is mainly seen. With clockwise rotation, we can see the mid and upper third of the CBD with anti-clockwise intrapancreatic part of CBD from antrum. Again, SMV forming portal vein. Lower third is mainly seen, but with different maneuvers, we can see by clockwise rotation, we can see the mid and upper third, anti-clockwise, nothing will be seen. Basically, from 5 different stations, we can able to see image the bile duct. Different maneuvers we need to do to image the complete bile duct. So these are the 5 different stations I described. So from the liver window, following down the upper 1/3 of CBD, we can see the rest of the CBD. Entire CBD can be seen from the liver window, following down the upper 1/3 of the CBD. From the pancreatic window, we can follow up the lower 1/3 of the CBD and see image the rest of the CBD also can be seen. How I do imaging of the bile duct, mainly from 2 stations, the apical position at the apex of the duodenal bulb, and the second is opposite the papilla. Imaging from fundus of the stomach or Auger junction. When we are at Auger junction or at the proximal stomach, sometimes we need to see endoscopically and enter into the proximal stomach. We'll see the left lobe of liver. And immediately the portal vein will be close to the transducer, bile duct will be below the portal vein. So we can able to see the left lobe, that is a dilated intrahepatic ducts in segment 2, segment 3. The dilated ducts can be seen. If required, you can use Doppler. But if this anechoic structure with hyperechoic margin, it is a portal vein tributaries. And the dilated bile ducts are anechoic adjacent structures. We'll see the segment 2, little clockwise rotation. We can see the combination, the fusion of the segment 2, segment 3 duct. What I do, so the imaging of the intrahepatic ducts are required when you're planning some therapeutic procedures like rendezvous, integrate stenting, or hepaticogastrostomy. So I use the fluoro. With the help of the fluoro, see that my scope is below the diaphragm. If required, I use endoscopic view to see that I'm in stomach, not at the esophagus. Usually avoid puncturing the esophageal wall. And also see that the direction of the needle is towards the papilla. Imaging from the body of the stomach. Body of the stomach, we can see the portal vein and the CBD is below the mid part of the CBD. By clockwise, anti-clockwise rotation, we can image the other part of the CBD. Also from the stomach, we can able to image the CBD. Imaging from the antrum. Similar to imaging through the pancreatic window from the stomach, the splenic vein can be imaged. You can see the splenic vein is forming the portal vein confluence, and below that is CBD. And the lower part of the CBD can be followed up the mid and upper part of the CBD. Imaging from the bulb is important. Imaging from the bulb, immediately we'll see the portal vein, very prominent, important structure. The head of the pancreas and main pancreatic duct. Bile duct is close to the transducer. If required, use the help of Doppler. And now you need to do an anti-clockwise rotation, move towards the hilum, see the proximal part of bile duct. You can see the division of the CBD into right and left hepatic ducts. Sometimes you can able to see the intrahepatic ducts also in segment 2, 3, 4. And if you do a clockwise rotation, you can move towards the hilum. You can able to see the distal part of the CBD towards the hilum. Imaging at ampulla. So the important things to remember is that your transducer should be perpendicular to the ampulla. Don't put too much air. So don't put too much water into the balloon. Don't compress the ampulla too much. It should be perpendicular. Good water coupling is important. And the duodenum should be motionless. That will be great. You can able to see the CBD and the pancreatic duct. Imaging from the duodenum also, you can able to image the duodenum, the lower third of the duodenum, and the mid and upper part can be seen by different maneuvers. Here, the one small stone. Here, the periampullary carcinoma, dilated CBD and PD. So here is a small stone at the ampulla. Here, the sludge at the CBD. So imaging can be done from duodenum also. So if you see here the ampulla, when I am perpendicular to the ampulla, immediately the anechoic structure, which is close to the transducer, is bile duct, then is pancreatic duct. So we can able to image the duct. If the stone is there, can be nicely seen, very small stone. If any ampullary tumor is there, also nicely seen. So gradually we can able to see, follow the bile duct also when required, when indicated. When here is the ampulla, first part of the duodenum, apex of the ampulla is important. Sometimes what happens when you are at the apical portion of the ampulla, when you are trying to image the bile duct, sometimes the scope slips towards the bulb. Sometimes the scope slips towards the second part of duodenum. You need to see that, yes, my scope is at the apical position. If bile duct is not imaged, around 30 seconds you have tried, then you have to endoscopically see if the position is correct or not, then try to image the bile duct. This is the bile duct is close to the transducer and below is the portal vein. You can able to image, so this is the video, able to image, and if you can follow the bile ducts towards the ampulla, you can follow the bile ducts towards the ampulla by clockwise rotation, by anti-clockwise rotation, you can follow the bile duct towards the hilum. So this is again very dilated pancreatic duct, then above which bile duct at the ampulla, periampullary tumor. So you can just perpendicular to the ampulla, you can image both the ducts and able to see nicely. You can follow those ducts also at the duodenum also, duodenal bulb also. You can able to see the bile duct. Bile duct is nicely seen because it dilated here. Sometimes you need to spend little time to see the bile duct, and the bile duct can be followed towards the hilum, towards the ampulla. And when you are not very sure, Doppler can be used. Here the portal vein down, bile duct is very much dilated. Okay, so I'm going towards the ampulla also. We can able to see towards the ampulla, very dilated pancreatic duct. And like different maneuvers, we can able to see. So this video, so when you're planning to see the hepatic duct, intrahepatic duct in the left lobe, we are planning some procedure like rendezvous or integrate stenting or hepaticogastrostomy. You need to see, so preferably dilated segment 3 duct will be great, because if you are puncturing a segment 2 duct, if you're puncturing the segment 2 duct, that will not be good, because you have to puncture the esophagus. Segment 3 will be great. You need to see. So I'm not spending time here. So with the imaging of the bile duct from the duodenal bulb, when you are planning to put either a choledocho duodenostomy, or you want to do a procedure like a rendezvous procedures, or sometimes you need to put your stent there. So you need to see the position of your scope. Here see the position of the scope is towards the hilum. So choledocho duodenostomy is good, but little bit adjustment, you can able to put your position of the scope like towards the ampulla. It is possible. This position is good. So this is a good position for the ampulla. So little bit clinical scenarios, so clinical implications. Suppose CVD stones, US versus ERCP. If the stone size is small, less than 4 millimeter. If see US is pretty good in identifying CVD stone, is very good. Sensitivity is very good. US versus MRCP, when the stone is small, less than 5 millimeter. US is very sensitive. A small stone compared to MRCP. So the implications of US is very good if compared to ERCP, MRCP when the stone size is small. CVD neoplasm, US versus CT. You see making a positive diagnosis of obstruction, US is good compared to CT. US FNA is very valuable for tissue diagnosis of the hilar structure when other modality, other diagnostic tests are inconclusive. US will be very helpful if you can able to see the hilum. US CVD neoplasm, again, US and US FNA sensitivity is 73% for the diagnosis of cholangiocarcinoma and very specific in predicting unresectability. So need to see the CVD very nicely. Sensitivity of US FNA distal versus proximal distal is good, as we know. Imaging of right hepatic ducts can be done by suitable adjustment of focus and frequency of the right lobe can be done from proximal stomach. G junction also, segment 4-5 ducts can be seen if they are dilated. There are reports of therapeutic intervention of drainage of obstructed right lobe. So from the stomach, from the bulb of the duodenum, here the bulb of the duodenum from the stomach. So the basic concepts of imaging from the stomach, we saw mainly the upper 1/3 of CBD. We can follow the middle and the lower third of the CBD. So upper 1/3 of the CBD, suppose you are at the G junction, CBD is seen upper 1/3, the CBD can be followed. CBD can be followed, the mid part of the CBD, upper part of the CBD, you can see the pancreas also if you follow the CBD. From the duodenal bulb, middle 1/3 of the CBD, by clockwise, counterclockwise maneuvers, you can see the upper and lower part of the CBD. For duodenum, again, lower third of the CBD, but you can able to see the other part of the CBD by different maneuvers. Imaging of entire CBD is extremely important. By clockwise rotation and push from the upper 1/3, anti-clockwise rotation and pull from the lower 1/3, you can able to see the rest of the CBD, can able to see complete CBD. Imaging of the CBD can be done by many techniques. There are 5 stations. From different stations, you can able to image CBD. ERCP is still the gold standard. A standard technique for imaging of CBD not been specifically described. Examination of CBD, as I told, from different stations. But basically, 2 positions are very important. One is apical position, one is opposite to papilla, perpendicular to papilla. We can able to see the complete CBD. But the most important landmark for apical position, when you are imaging from the apex, is to see that your scope is at apex. The apical position, most important landmark is duodenal follow-up. Thank you very much.